Welcome to some Sidisi, Wicked Witch of the West Coast. We're going to hit the east side of that LBC on that mission, trying to find Mr. Warren G. So, mount up, regulators. Let's have some fun today. Playing gets you rocked, too, so we got a pretty fun little Sultai versus Sultai match. And let's see if our opponent wants to keep on that 7, but we definitely do keep. We've got Opulent Palace, we've got 2 lands, we got 3 visits, and we do have some beautiful protection for Sidisi or Underrealm Lich, so that should be a very good option. And also, it's always nice to have a little bit of a zombie tribal effect, not necessarily a +1/+1, but having that zombie tokens have death touch, that is always a nice feeling. So, it's going to lead off with Opulent Palace, and then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, that intro, that is Warren G. Regulate featuring Nate Dogg. It's one of my favorite rap songs, and I love 90s rap, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But let's get these commanders going. So, we're playing Sidisi, Brood Tyrant. Whenever Sidisi enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 3 cards. Then, whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from the library, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So, pretty nifty. Let's go for Island. Let's go 3 visits, get ahead on lands. I think that's going to be a pretty good option for us, especially against Yarok. That'll really help us out. We'll probably end up grabbing a actually, Tyrant would be perfect. So, anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. Playing gets you rocked, the Desecrated. Death Touch and Lifelink. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Mana. Sorry for that weird intro. I was getting ready to say TCG player, and then I realized our opponent in the chat had said good luck and mana, and so then I read that mana, and that's what kind of popped out. So yeah, that's what that was. So we're playing Gets You Rock. We are worried about spot removal, but I think at this point, I don't mind going for Sidisi. They don't have black over there. So yeah, let's do this. Let's go Sidisi. Let's get the milling going. I think that sounds pretty good. But yeah, our opponent said good luck and good mana. So it's a fun way to say good luck and have fun. Because definitely that's our game plan. We want our opponent to get good mana too, because it always makes a lot of fun. So let's see if we get a zombie token. Unfortunately, we do not. And then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. Now, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/Jolt MTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. In fact, you can click on the link down below, or you can actually just click on the deck link down below too. That will apply the affiliate link, and that is, if you enjoy my content, that is the best way to support the channel, and it costs you nothing. You get cards, and you get to support chip some extra mana into my mana pool, and if you do, hey, much obliged. So we'll get that going in just a second. But with that swamp entering the battlefield tap, we're definitely going to go for Lightning Greaves. That way we can get the protection going right now. So in fact, yeah, let's just straight up just go Lightning Greaves. Our opponent might have some sort of return creature to hand or something, but once we get this to stick, that should be a pretty good feeling. So we'll see. They might have an early cyclone. Oh, there we go. Get it to stick. So we're probably looking at either Vizier or Tracker's Instinct. Let's just go and swing in. Let's get that mill going for 3. And then that way we can see what we want to do in our second main phase. So we're going to go and swing in for 3 coming across. That's going to hopefully give us a zombie token. Let's see. That would be nice. If not, we still have Vizier. I think we're going to end up going Vizier of Scorpion. I think that'd be a pretty good bet, you know. Getting that amass token on the battlefield, that's going to give us an extra body. Then hopefully we end up getting a zombie off of this mill trigger. All right, so we do end up hitting a creature. So that's going to be a 2/2 zombie on the battlefield. That's going to be us getting in for 3. It's going to put them down to 27. That'll be 3 total commander damage too. All right, so let's go and shock in Overgrown Tomb. Definitely going to pay 2 life on this. Vizier of Scorpion. There we go. Have that come down. That's going to give us an extra zombie token. And now all of our zombies are going to have Death Touch, which is going to be a very good feeling. So anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play online, they have a wonderful selection of digital options for you to choose from. And also, let's give a quick shout out to Ink Gaming. Go to inkgaming.com. And yeah, that's fine. They're going to hit Lightning Greaves. We can work with that. But yeah, be sure to check out inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/Jolt, that will apply a 10% coupon. And you'll also be able to check out some of my cool play mats over there. I've got a nice little selection of mad neon mats over there. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, hey, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score on your regulator score sheet, hey, it is zombie smashing time, and it is officially free time. So, all right, so we do actually run into Dread Return, and yeah, I kind of like, I was thinking about going for Underrealm Lich, but Dread Return on Doom Whisper sounds like a Pretty good deal. Let's go and push in with the entire crew. Well, actually, Vizier the Scorpion. Just in case they have some sort of return creature. Well, we don't have any enchantments, so it's not really going to matter. I think we'll still end up holding Vizier back. So let's go and swing in with our 2 zombies. That's going to be Zombie Death Touch. It's going to be a 2/2 token zombie. We also have Sidisi swinging across, and we hit another zombie. Oh, yeah. There we go. Knock them down to 6 total commander damage. Put them down to 21. And yeah, I think at this point, if we do end up going for Doom Whisper, that does give us the option to get a lot of zombies on the battlefield, so I think I kind of like that over Underrealm Lich. At the very least, simply just leaving up Underrealm Lich out of our hand as a last resort, if something does happen to Doom Whisper, sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's tap this down for black. Let's go and bring back a Doom Whisperer back onto the battlefield. And one of the cool things about us hard casting Dread Return is that we're going to be able to use it out of the graveyard if we still have some of these zombie tokens. So that way, if we do mill something, you know, Birds of Paradise may not seem like that good of a reanimator target, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more milling going and maybe find ourselves a Crater Hoof or something like that. So, all right, opponent's going to go for Aether Sphere Harvester. And it's going to be 2 energy, which they can crew it up. What's the crew on this going to be? It's going to be 1. So they do have the option to crew up Aether Sphere Harvester. So at least that's going to hold back Sidisi at this point right now. Do we want to? Yeah, let's go for some Doom Whisperer. Let's go for Surveil. The thing with Yarok is, yeah, let's go and dump this into the graveyard. And let's go and always yield to the Sidisi trigger. I think at this point what we're going to do is we're going to be very aggressive with this option. Because we might be able to set up a Gem Palm Polluter. Yeah, we're going to do this. So we're going to go through a few more triggers. We're going to get our life total down very, very low. And actually, we do surveil into Gerard's Order. So what I think we're going to do on this one is we're going to hoof it up on this. Our opponent is stuck at 3 mana. This may seem like overkill, but at this point, this is going to give us the game. So we're not going to dredge that. Let's go for Gerard's Orders. Since we do have Dread Return in here, you know, this is one of those lines of play that I always love going for. So let's go for Gerard's Order. We're going to search for 2 creatures. What we're going to end up doing is dumping 1 into the graveyard. All right, so our opponent's going to scoop it up on this one, but the line of play that we're going to go for is we're going to go for Gerard's Order. We're going to end up grabbing just some sort of creature, probably would have grabbed Carrion Feeder, that way we can still cast it and get the creature count going. And then we would have dumped Crater Hoof into the graveyard. And with Dread Return, we would have used that to sacrifice 3 creatures and give everybody a beautiful Crater Hoof bonus. So this may have seemed like a little bit cutthroat, trying to close the game out, but when you're playing against Yarok, Yarok can get out of hand very quickly, so we don't really want to give them the chance to rebuild. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to some Sidisi, Wicked Witch of the West Coast. We're going to hit the east side of that LBC on that mission, trying to find Mr. Warren G. So, mount up, regulators. Let's have some fun today. As far as opening hand goes, we have 1 land. That is not going to be good. So let's go and mulligan on this one. And yeah, we'll keep on this one. Not the best hand to keep, but yeah, Fraying Sanity kind of get some stuff moving. So yeah, we'll keep on this one. And I guess at this point, we want to have all of our lands, and actually do like Path of Discovery. So I think what we'll end up doing is just putting Lord of the Undead on the bottom. Click OK, and let our opponent get this game started. Playing against the man who rides on a horse with no name, Mr. Maelstrom Wonder himself. So we'll see what's in store for us. I know. Like, there's certain commanders you play against, and Maelstrom Wonder is one of those that just always just is in my kitchen. They always get it done. So let's see if we can't beat Maelstrom today. Let's go and lead off with Temple of Malady. Let's get the Scry going, the Scurry, the Fever, the Insanity, the Descent into Madness. We're going to put that on the bottom for right now. Yeah, that's fine, because we have Path of Discovery. We just want to find a little bit more action. So anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Sidisi, Brute Tyrant. Whenever Sidisi enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 3 cards. Then whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Playing against Maelstrom Wonder. Creatures you control have haste, then Cascade and Cascade. So if you don't know what Cascade is, basically if you cast a spell for 6, you're going to flip until you get something that costs less than 6, and you're going to be able to cast that for free. So with Maelstrom Wonder being an 8 mana spell, that basically just kind of turns everything into their deck online as far as a free spell. So you always have to keep your fingers crossed that they run into like something not good. like a Serum Visions or something, maybe, if they're running that. So, as far as the land drop, I guess we'll just end up going for Fetid Pools because there's nothing that we can do for 2, and then we're looking at Fraying Sanity for next turn. So, anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. We did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. In fact, if you enjoy my content, that is the best way to support the channel. All you have to do is click on it, and it costs you nothing, and you get cards. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you're going to play online, they have a wonderful selection of digital cards for you to choose from. Lots of cool ones. Got some pretty much all of Magic's history over there. So if you need to build any sort of deck, they've got you covered. Let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. Goodness, that is a lot of mana. Oh no. If you yeah, Ink Gaming, check out my Mad Mats, and you know the drill, Patreon. I'm not sure that this video is long, is going to be that long, so we'll go and wrap it up there. It's officially free time to have some fun. So at this point, yeah, that's a lot of mana over there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh goodness. So if we end up going Fraying Sanity, that would maybe be one card, or we just end up going Birds of Paradise. I think we just need to end up going Birds of Paradise. I mean, because Fraying Sanity is nice, but we need to get ahead on mana as quickly as possible, because that is a ton of mana over there. And as far as the lane drop, I guess we just end up going Water Your Grave into play tap. So we're definitely going into a defensive manner, and then anything else pass turn over to our opponent. But yeah, as far as the intro for the deck, that was Warren G's Regulators featuring Nate Dogg. So if you want to check that out, it's one of my favorite rap songs. I highly enjoy 90s rap, but that's one of my favorite rap genres, if you want to call it that. Wu-Tang Clan, a lot of good stuff. And as far as music goes, ooh, Skystruck Claim, goodness. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of time, I think, but we'll see what's in store for us. But yeah, as far as music goes, I'm on a really big lo-fi kick right now. That does help me record. I enjoy that. And outside of that, I just got to bounce back and forth between like pop, rap, and like I got on a pretty big synthwave kick for a while. I had a pretty nice little synthwave playlist, and yes, they do have just enough for Maelstrom Wonder, but I have pretty open music taste. Like we also go through some old country, which I really enjoy. All right, Everflowing Chalice. That's one of the best cascades you can hit. So we've got Maelstrom Wonder, Swinging Across. So if we can actually just, they've got 2 cards in hand, so we might be able to do something about this. We'll see, but that's a ton of mana over there. But also, I do enjoy old country. In fact, if you don't know, my wife and I, we had a baby, and her name is Loretta. And in fact, she's 8 months, which I'm going to be posting some pictures up so you can see those now. And she's an absolute joy, and we are loving every second of it. It is just a ton of fun. So we're going to let this 7 come across right now, and then we'll worry about blocking at a later point. So this is kind of one of those, we're going to let death get to the front door, and then once it starts knocking, we're just going to try to lock the deadbolt and keep it shut. That's kind of the game plan right now, which is not the best, but sometimes you just got to let as much stuff come through until the very absolute least. And so that's what we're going to be doing. Let's go for Scalding Tarn. And I think at this point, we'll probably end up going for Sidisi. I think that would be a pretty good option, because that gives us the option to at least build up some zombies. So, and especially with the enter the battlefield effect. So let's do this. Let's go to crack Scalding Tarn. Let's grab ourselves a blue-green source. Grab ourselves Underground Sea, not Underground Sea, but Tropical Island. There we go. Let's go for a Soul Ring. Yeah, it's not going to matter. We still want to get that down either way. So we're going to go for Sidisi. And just in case we need the blocker, yeah, let's do this. We're going to leave up Birds of Paradise. So fingers crossed we run into a zombie. If we hit a zombie, I feel pretty good. That's going to, oh yeah, there we go. All right, we're digging this. Okay, so we're going to end up with the zombie on the battlefield. In the world of 7/5s, there's no trample. The 2/2 zombie token is definitely king. So if we can keep this going, that sounds like a pretty good bet. So anything else, pass the turn over our opponent. But yeah, with Loretta, she's 8 months. She has been an absolute joy. I mean, there's been really no difficulty in raising her. She's our first child. She goes to bed by 8 o'clock, and that's when she's tired. And then she gets up between 5 and 6 in the morning, like clockwork. So there's not a lot of long nights. There are some early mornings, different things like that. But as far as being first-time parents, she is a very stress-free baby, and we're definitely very thankful for that. So, all right, so we got Acidic Slime coming down. So we're actually in a pretty good spot. Our opponent has 0 cards in hand, and I feel like we can hopefully stabilize with a couple different zombies. So one of the options that we do have is Fraying Sanity. That's going to allow us to start to generate some extra zombies, because that's what we're going to need at this point right now. So there we go. It's going to toss a zombie token. And yeah, that looked pretty bad for a second, you know. Being able to somehow stabilize, you know, even if our opponent does end up closing it out, being able to stabilize, that's one of the best feelings in Magic. And hopefully we can right now, because if they want to go Kiyora's Follower and Acidic Slime beatdowns, oh, there they go. Yeah, they're going to go for the sacrifice effect. I forgot about that. So, all right, so they do end up swinging with Maelstrom Wonder. It goes back to the command zone. I think they don't have enough mana for that, so they're going to set it up for next turn. So, but same thing, if we end up getting some good cascades, then that should be a pretty good option. So, okay, and then we actually run into Entomb. So let's do this. Let's go for Fraying Sanity. And we're going to choose ourselves to enchant, which is one of the best things to be doing. So we're going to do this. We're going to go for Fraying Sanity. Enchanting ourselves. We're going to go Polluted Delta. That's going to allow us to grab an extra land to mill into the graveyard. And then we're still going to, I think we just need to end up going for Entomb, to be honest, because we go Entomb, and that's going to allow us to put Life from the Loam, because we just need to get as many dredge options as going. If we can flood the board with tokens, we're definitely going to be able to hopefully keep this stabilizing force going. Let's go and crack Polluted Delta, and then we'll grab ourselves Triumph. That will come into play tapped, and then anything else past the turn over there. So we should get a, I can't remember the Fraying Sanity trigger, if it's, no, we're just going to be one big trigger. So hopefully that should allow us to end up hitting a extra one. So we could have swung, ooh, and then we do end up hitting Stinkweed Amp, so that'll be pretty good too. So let's see if we do end up surviving this card draw and Maelstrom Wonder, but at least with Fraying Sanity, that's going to allow us to get a little bit of extra Sidisi triggers. And it's also kind of fun to use Fraying Sanity in a kind of a mill way. You know, if you've never built a graveyard deck, you know, when you first see Fraying Sanity, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, you can target your opponent and you're playing a mill deck, but you can also use it in a deck like Sidisi, you know, little things like this where we got the Entomb, Life from the Loam, and the Fetch land. That was an extra 3 lands into our graveyard from Fraying Sanity, so you can see where if we swing in with Sidisi, that's another 3 cards. We can end up getting some, oh yes, Soul Ring. Let's see what this next cascade is. Ooh, that's not good. But if they don't have card draw, they're still stuck in this Maelstrom Wonder kind of loop where they need to they need to keep sacrificing to get it going. But it looks like we're in a pretty good spot right now, so we'll see what else that last card in their hand is. Oh, and then also with Loretta, she's also learning to kind of crawl. Not necessarily like full-on crawling. She can, if you put her in one position, she'll be able to move up like a foot. And it's not efficient crawling, but she's learning that, hey, if I'm sat down, if I lean forward and do something, I can kind of maneuver my body to get further along in the blanket on the ground. And so that's kind of fun to see. But she's also kind of sitting up. She sits up really well. And she's also doing the, if I lay on my back and she'll put her hands on my stomach, she can kind of prop herself up. So she's starting to find that center of gravity. And it's just kind of fun seeing that. She's also getting a lot more vocal. She's having a lot more facial expressions. And it's just really fun watching a... All right, now we're getting into the prime time. It's going to be Soul of the Harvest, and that will have haste, and it's going to be Sylvan Tutor. Social lobby for a creature card, put it on top. So, Maelstrom Wonder is going to come down. That's going to give everybody haste. So they will be able to swing in. Basically, we're looking at 6/6 trample, and then we can still block on Maelstrom Wonder. The only thing is, are we going to have enough stuff to do next turn to close the game out? I'm afraid we're not. So that's going to be 6/6. They still have 1 card left in the hand, so there is a scenario where we might be able to, but with the fact that them having high market and going for that sacrifice and then untap with QR's follower, that's just going to be a lot, and especially with mana reflection out there. That's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of mana for us to deal with, so we'll see what we can assemble. And also, she's eating solid foods. She loves butternut squash. My mom has a garden too, and she made she grew a bunch of butternut squash, and so we made baby food out of that, and she is, like my wife and I were talking, and I think she's eaten more butternut squash than we have in our entire lives already, so she loves that for some reason. Just to save... So this is going to be 13 coming across. That's going to put us at 14 commander damage. I'm going to say that we have to, if we're going to win, it's going to be on next turn. So we might need to end up holding on to the zombie or something. Maybe we can Yeah, I think we just need to let this through. We need to have as many bodies on the battlefield because I just don't think we're going to be able to survive next turn. Because somehow, and mainly, I mean, maybe we could have blocked a Maelstrom Wonder, but mainly if we somehow get Gravespawn Sovereign online with some crazy, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That's kind of either way. It's just not looking good if you mark that on the score sheet. So let's go and dredge a Stinkweed Imp. And we do end up hitting at least another creature. That's going to give us an extra zombie on the battlefield. So we go for Imp, Path of Discovery. We do have Forbidden Alchemy. I guess at this point we'll still hold up blockers. Because we can still use Stinkweed Imp to block on one of the creatures. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be an extra body. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we only have 6 mana at this point right now. So let's go ahead and go for Stinkweed Imp. I was hoping that we could potentially end up going for Path of Discovery in addition to that, but I think at this point we're simply just going to have to pass the turn. So anything else, kick it back over there. So we should end up with a pretty nice Fraying Sanity. It's going to be an extra 5 cards on the back end, and then maybe we can set up a Gravespawn Sovereign. We'll see. And unfortunately, we did miss on that Fraying Sanity. So, all right, so let's see what's in store for us. Our opponent has a pretty big board state. That's going to be a combination, crater, even just simply creating a token with haste. That's going to be pretty gnarly. So, let's see what is in store for us, and we'll jump into commentary. Okay, and that's going to be a hard cast Bellfire Dragon. And I forgot with Soul of the Harvest, you may draw. Yeah, that's going to be pretty rough. So they're going to have 6 in the air. They're going to have trample damage. Yeah, because unfortunately Stinkweed Imp is going to be a delayed trigger on that too. So let's see what else they've got. All right, there we go. Opponent's going to have a win condition. That is going to be Psychotic Rift, sending everything back to the hand. So, yeah, when they had that earlier turn, that was it's pretty hard to bounce back from something like that, and especially against Maelstrom Wonder. But we got some good chat today. And in fact, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.